Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Moed Katan, page 11, which opens up with a new chapter which discusses when a person is in the midst of a particular activity. As the Mishnah discusses, a person is taking olives and he was about to press them, and unfortunately that person now is a mourner. One of his 7 close relatives dies. In this situation, we have a difficult problem to address because there is a rabbinical prohibition for a person who is an avel, who is in mourning. We do not allow that person to do work. As opposed to, as we've been learning on Chol HaMoed, that prohibition is actually even stronger, which is a biblical prohibition not to work. The question is, what do we do in this situation? So the Mishnah tells us that there's one opinion that at the very least they could begin the process of pressing those olives and maybe not complete them, even though there is a more lenient opinion that says that can be done as well. Now the reason for this is because, as we've been mentioning, when it comes to a davar aved, when there is a financial loss, if they would not at least have begun the process, there would have caused a tremendous financial burden and loss on that individual. So therefore we're able to remove certain restrictions in order to avoid such issues. In addition to that, the Talmud also tells us that if you have an individual that is engaged in a particular activity which is very unusual, that he has the expertise in that city, that no one else has the ability to do it, and therefore they need him. So even though normally we would not want him to work during these times, we are lenient because, again, first of all, it's for the need of the masses, but it's also for the sake of Chol HaMoed, for the sake of those individuals that need these things for these holidays. So once again, we find that even though we could look at a particular law and say, okay, there's a tremendous stringency of doing work that's even a biblical prohibition on Chol HaMoed to work, nonetheless, the rabbis were given certain abilities to be able to be lenient to show the sensitivity under these types of situations.